So the last thing we need to discuss for this little topic is the program structure. So we just added a whole bunch of things to your repertoire, and we need to know where everything goes. We always want a readable program, so we want some form of standardization in terms of where to put everything. So let's break it down and figure out what our actual programs look like. If this represents our program, the first thing that we see is our header. That's always the first thing. And then we follow that with our libraries, all the using lines. Libraries. Following the libraries, we see our namespace and then our class line. Namespace. And then we have our class line. And inside of our class line, we have all of our global variables. Now this is where things start to change. So for a form, we're going to have a few things that don't exist inside of a console. So for a form, let me do form first. Form, we're going to have our constructor, which will never change in this course, maybe next year. And then we're going to have our event subprograms. So things like click buttons and stuff like that. Our event subprograms. So these are Windows generated things, not generated by us. And this is for form. For a console, we have our main subprogram. This is for console. And then following this, this is when we have all of our personal subprograms. So all of our programmer created subprograms. So we'll just call them programmer subprograms. And this is the order that you're going to follow. Now, inside of these subprograms, so inside of a subprogram, it has its own setup. So inside of a subprogram, the first thing that should be done is local variables. Following the local variables, then you have your standard logic, and following that, you're going to have maybe, potentially, your return statement if it's a function. And that's going to be the end of that. So that is all of our structure for everything. So all your programs should look like this at this point. Now, obviously, most of your logic for a console program is going to go inside of main, and that's actually going to call your subprograms that you created. Inside of a form program, all the logic is going to go inside of the event subprograms, which is going to call the subprograms you created. Remember just a few things. We want to use local variables whenever possible. We use our subprograms quite a bit. We use them again for both reusability and readability. If you're ever repeating something more than once in your programs, it should probably be put in a subprogram. That is, if you're repeating similar things over and over and over and over and over again. Any more than once, and it should be put in a subprogram. If the code is starting to get too complex, maybe you can grab a chunk of it that's related, put it into a subprogram to simplify what the main code actually looks like so it can be more easily read. And that finishes off our topic of subprograms.